All right, it's 11 a.m. here where I am right now. I'm sitting in Vaduz, Liechtenstein. Good morning, everyone. We only have 30 minutes, so I think we might as well start and get this going. I was thinking of a quick format where I present a little bit about what we're doing in 10-15 minutes, and then maybe open up for a quick check-in where everybody is coming from and kind of what they have to add to these perspectives, and then we can open it up for general discussion and see how we can best converge. How does that sound? Wonderful. So yeah, the underlying question about my presentation here is how can we build a bigger we? That is really where this is coming from. And, you know, I think right now we're a crucial turning point in where humanity is walking at. And it really, the times are really calling for us to work together and to transcend that fragmentation, which we have been living for not only our lifetimes, but perhaps many decades or centuries even. And yeah, it definitely is a challenge to learn how to break away from that fragmentation and start working together and integrating efforts. But at the underlying root of what it is, I think, is our financial system. Our financial system, you know, is what shapes our planetary and human condition. And today's financial systems are putting us in a state of planetary and overshoot and collapse, which we all know. You could see it from all different angles, whether it is species extinction, whether it is the environment, whether it's civil unrest, financial inequality, financial exploitation, you name it, from all different angles. Even the pandemics which we're now facing is one way or another one. You can always look at it. It goes back to our degenerative financial systems where we have. And of course, the economy drives the human will, and that economy today is shaped by financial systems that are centrally created, where currency is centrally created. And every time a cent or a dollar or euro or whatever fiat currency you think of, there is debt and interest attached to it, which ultimately creates a immense vacuum in terms of need for endless growth in a finite planet, which exacerbates this situation. And our starting thesis in what we're doing with seeds is that if we are to change the trajectory of humanity, we will need to evolve those financial systems. But the question is, what if the best financial system was also the best decision for the health of our community and our biosphere? And that is precisely what we have done with seeds, which is a blockchain technology in which the creation of seeds, which are the currency of the seeds ecosystem, are created algorithmically through transparent protocols, which allows us to create as much money as there is demand for exchange within an economy, which leads to a reversal of the trend of inequality and concentration of power of today's dominant systems. And the economic aims for this is to really enable a peer-to-peer economy where you don't have to pay for the privilege of using your own money, something that is more equitable, 100% cooperative without interest attached to it, and more stable and without borders. Let me go into how we achieve these components. You know, at the very basic core, Seeds is simply a payment platform, much like PayPal or Visa, a platform where you can transfer funds anywhere in the world in fractions of a second without being charged fees. And instead of charging fees, Seeds rewards you for the privilege of using your own money, for your participation, and gives you a voice, a direct voice and ownership in the governance and evolution of this financial system. And we have made it as easy as downloading an app, which we call the Seeds Global Passport. What we're doing right now is we are uniting all of the initiatives and movements and new forms of enterprises, lifestyle experiments, encompassing all aspects of life really, which are currently invisibly connected in a shared attempt to bring about a more sustainable future. So what we're doing is we're recognizing and rewarding these organizations and people who are already serving the transition towards a regenerative society. And how we do that is we're providing we have a limited amount of token allocations, which the vast majority are not for sale. So we had no ICO or anything of that. We are literally gifting a piece of this economy to all of these organizations who are devoted to creating a more beautiful world. And by doing that, we're able to recover the values and modalities that have been eroded throughout the time, and by giving the control of the financial system to the people who are already dedicated to doing good in the world, we're able to recover this other forms of capital that go beyond the only financial capital that we right now, our current financial systems only look at. So through that, we're trying to recover the multiple forms of capital, whether it is living capital, natural capital, cultural capital, spiritual capital, all of those beautiful things that are a fundament of what our communities and our planet needs. We are giving back that voice and value to those people who represent that. And how do we do that? We've created the basic tools for what we call a minimum viable society. And this consists of, this is what we call the Seeds Global Passport, which is comprised of three main components. The wallet, which serves to store and transfer wealth. We have a marketplace where all of these organizations and people are able to place their goods and services and exchange their goods and services via the currency of seeds. We have a place where people are be able to connect and exchange with one another and form ideas, and therefore we also have a forum to exchange those ideas and to cultivate these proposals. And one of the most important parts is the co-op section, where we are democratically able to validate and approve initiatives coming from the community. So anyone here who has an idea about something that could be replicated in the world and be funded, we are able to, through the community, validate that and provide the funding. Our standing point is that if there's good or there's a vision to be created in the world, that should not be in a state of artificial scarcity as our current financial system puts us in. So there should be as much currency available or means to do a project, as long as there is trust within the system. And since the premises of the economy are shared, in the sense that as the currency is created, every participant of within the seeds economy is receiving a share of the new money generated, which would be the equivalent of your central bank telling you at the end of the month, thank you, you've been a wonderful citizen, you've contributed this much for the growth of the economy, and at the end of the month you would receive a check from your central bank. That's what we are doing with seeds through the blockchain technology. And we also have there a stable currency, so stable not against the US dollar or the price of gold, but stable within its own economy. And it's the first time in human history where we are able to really, through the technology of blockchain, track the velocity of money in an economy, in an ecosystem. And we can really say that we can balance the supply and demand of any given currency to really stabilize the value of the token within itself. And that right now sets up a very interesting set of events or motion because as currencies are right now being devalued and as this lockdown is taking place and central banks are printing money at the tune of trillions, the currencies that we're used to, the dominating currencies, are being devalued and losing, being deflated at the same time as we are right now spreading with the seeds economy all over the world. This is actually an appreciating asset. So the more people that are coming into the network, the more the value of seeds is growing, and it's an open market. So we're actually having a much more interesting vehicle for investment that also serves to create more value, but also at the same time create a more sustainable planet towards having a real sustainable value, which is what the world needs. So this is kind of what I was showing you of how the application looks like. And what results in all of this is we see a healthier economy where all the participants have an intrinsic motivation to contribute to it. That means that in this economy, if you're an organization or a business and you're being successful, the organizations next to you are happy about that because you are also contributing to growing that pie, which we all share at the end of the lunar cycle or the month. Better than free transactions, we have the world's first better than free exchange. This is kind of one of the magic mechanisms of seeds. So as I mentioned before, this is better than free cash in the sense that, first of all, you're not paid or you're not charged for using fees for using this currency. You are actually rewarded. So the more you exchange with it, that serves to increase your contribution score and earns you a bigger share of the harvest in the end of the month. So there's an intrinsic incentive to keep the velocity of money flowing, which feeds a healthier economy, a healthier biosphere. Obviously, we're right now including all of the regenerative organizations in the planet who are already working in healing the earth. Then all of this is resulting to scale this mass work that is needed to bring our planet and its biosphere to its state of integrity. Better than free platforms. This is also a very interesting aspect. You know, they currently our financial systems only, or in an exchange in our current financial systems happens when there is this exchange. So for example, if you're Apple, you have an intrinsic motivation to create products that break so that you're able to, again, sell them again. In the seeds economy, it becomes the opposite. You're able to really provide value to an economy, and you are able to be rewarded for that value you provide, and you can really measure it through the use. So for example, you could plug in a platform or an app and say that you are automatically being remunerated by the economy as you are being used by the community, and therefore it becomes a constant and steady stream of income rather than a one-off exchange, which really rewires our entire mindset in terms of how products should be done and how long-lasting and long-living we should really design our solutions to be. Additionally, one of the things that we're doing right now is the notion of basic earned income. One of the things that we can do is we can say, okay, we need certain jobs in the planet that, for example, feeding the world, and these people who are working to feed the world and doing it in a regenerative way should have a basic earned income to that. So we're right now exploring different models and piloting in different bioregions of the world to experiment with what the best solutions for providing a basic income for the people who are working to keep our planet healthy. And obvious other one is the decentralized democracy. You know, this is a direct voice for the people to really take command and do what governments around the planet are not doing. And all of that is integrated also through the blockchain. We have right now, we launched Seeds on November 5th of last year. And since then, we already have nearly 300 organizations and networks from all over the planet who are signing up for co-creating this movement with us. And we have right now presence in nearly all bioregions of the world, and growing very fast. So while the entire economy has been in lockdown, the seeds economy has been expanding massively. As you can imagine, when financial collapse happens, then the most tragic part of it is where there's not enough money to circulate and people become bankrupt. So this is a golden opportunity for alternative currencies to step in and become a more viable and healthier and equitable medium of exchange. Here you can see our initial seeds distribution, which again, only 5% are for sale. Everything else is designed for global campaigns where we are literally gifting seeds for campaigns, whether it is planting seeds, creating, sprouting local farms, sprouting gardens for food creation, food forests, doing good deeds. So all of these volunteer organizations who have been kind of upholding the planet are receiving the main bulk of it. So we have also a big part for partnerships. So all of these organizations that are coming in, we provide them with a seeds grant, which aligns our financial interests. And they are able to then benefit directly and continue their business and add another revenue stream. Yeah, this is kind of the campaigns that we're running. Plant seeds, get seeds, proof of food, show us that you're part of the local food systems and you receive feeds. Good deeds, get seeds, and all sorts of airdrops. Another component of what we're doing is the DAO. So we have also a decentralized autonomous organization that fits in with a passport. The passport is the entry point for this, and right now we have programmed all the bioregions of the Earth and facilitating this integration of organizations towards this shared vision of change. So what that means is that right now we're signing up all of these organizations in a bioregional context, which sign up into the bioregions that they're working and are able to co-create with a whole bunch of other organizations in that field. So you can become a member and start co-creating and also plug into the seeds economy, where we are providing the necessary funding for these initiatives to take place and thrive. Yeah, you become part of the whole membership, which gives you voice and value. You can contribute with roles, you can contribute with different forms of capital, and if you have organization as an individual, to allow for all of this integration of what needs to be done, which the key functions of the DHO are decentralized payroll and contribution accounting, which allows us really to all converge into being able to provide what we want to provide, and doing it in a way that we have the abundance that we need to actually reach those missions and visions. Here you can see a little bit of the bridges at what we're doing. So the passport is where we're signing up the organizations, communities, individuals, and providing a marketplace for these people to exchange. And that then feeds in through to the Haifa DAO, which is where all of these efforts are fractalized, scaled. You can create pilot projects, fractionalize assignments, create project contributions, etc. Here you can see kind of one of the things that we're doing right now in Costa Rica. Costa Rica right now, we have launched a campaign to make Costa Rica the world's first regenerative nation. And we're working there across sectors, ranging from government to the grassroots movements. And we're integrating all of these initiatives into an integrated impulse for genuine transformation. I already went a little 5 minutes over how much I wanted to go. So I think as a next step, I would love to open this up and maybe hear from what you guys are up to and how this could fit each other's visions and how we can serve each other. So I'll open up. Maybe we have a 1 to 2 minutes from each one, and then we can open up then for open discussion. Let me choose someone, and then maybe just kind of share where you're at, and let's get to know each other. Let's start with Gary Haag.
Good morning. Yeah, I think so. My thanks a lot, Franz. It's an amazing vision that you presented, and I think if you don't mind, rather than talking about ourselves, I think we should dive right into the topic. You know, there's a lot of stuff there. My key question is actually, you know, it's interesting. Most people, if you ask them on the street, they all want the same thing, right? They want abundance, love, peace, happiness, kind of thing. And you know, you've shown us a beautiful decentralized system, or a range of systems, how to get there. My key question is, how do you and the group see this unfolding? So for systems like that to evolve, is it better to start regionally? I noticed, by the way, you started in surf spots around the globe, Portugal, Tamarindo, and so on. I think there's ulterior motives behind, but is it better to start in these local pockets and, you know, seeds there? Or is it better to start from the beginning with people from all over the planet, just little lighthouses there, here and there?
It's a beautiful question. Yeah, the main concept of how we're bringing this about is alignment. You know, I think there's a level of understanding in terms of certain people who are in different walks of life, and our immediate starting point is to start with those who already are understanding what we need to do, and that comes out right now in terms of organizations who are already in that regenerative space. And as we are able to provide them that value, which the current system has been failing at, then you're able to get these organizations who have been traditionally fragmented to integrate and therefore starting to thrive. They can already start exchanging. We have then a means of a currency that really gives them both voice and value. And as the network starts growing, this currency becomes more valuable even than the US dollar. So by really aligning those people together and allowing them to thrive, then that becomes a beacon for the rest of us who might not be ready for understanding, or might be kind of like in this state of conditioning from our current financial systems, which put us in a state of worldviews of scarcity. And then that starts attracting the others who are also realizing, hey, these guys are thriving and doing amazing things. I also want a piece of that. Does that make sense? Gary, would you like to choose on someone? Perhaps choose someone who.
I think we do it randomly. Whoever wants to ask a question, or
yeah, does someone want to ask something else?
I want to appreciate the way that you're going towards local bioregions and food suppliers, because that's actually the main point of how do we get alternative currencies to run. That was always my question. We can exchange things that are not food-based wherever we want and which currency we ever want, be it time or whatever, but like to really have an impact and to be really to go everywhere, it needs the food suppliers, and therefore it needs the bioregions. And that's I didn't know that so far. I'm part of the system, but I didn't know that so far, and that's really like, oh my God, I need to promote that even more.
Yes, absolutely, Ka. And the food systems are the fundamental, you know, civilizations are built on food systems. And right now that is a major part of the problem. Our food systems are not food systems anymore, they're industrial systems. And, you know, if we look at it, soil health is one of the most important, is the most important thing that we could be looking at right now. And
absolutely,
fortunately for us also, what gives value to any financial system is that you're able to have utility within it. So what we're doing right now is our major target are local food networks around the world who are providing a value into this, and then they have an intrinsic incentive, because to date, if you wanted to buy food from your neighbor, let's say, the only mean was to exchange something or to use cash. That was the only way. Yeah, that's why all of this sharing platforms or food sharing were not successful, because they're always gonna go in again through and then being charged fees for the exchange of it. So if you're charging something with not so much value, but you're charging fees, you're more incentivized to just use cash or just barter or just exchange. And that's why the model of better than free cash comes in so important, because that is precisely a financial system designed at the very root for it, for the local food systems.
Yeah. So with that, I'd point to River's question that I like very much. What do you need help with?
We need help right now, co-creating. We need help expanding this movement. Right now we're in the I would say early stages, and it's growing extremely fast. So all help, all sorts of co-creators, movement makers, any resources that there are available on the table, that includes multiple sources of capital. We are opening this. So Seeds is ultimately a global co-creation project. So that's also, it also, one of the things that we're doing is this is a financial system built on purpose. So kind of what we always say is like, what is your purpose and passion when people come in, and how they want to show up to co-create this. And we have all people from all sorts of walks of life providing all sorts of things that they have available. So yeah, happy to connect with that in detail, but all help is welcome. I also see, let me write here my email address. I'm seeing that people want to keep in touch. And yeah, I also, it goes to everyone, but we right now see this as an invite only, as we're keeping the web of trust really tightly knit to see how we're doing it. So anyone here who would like to have an invite, just also send me your email, and we'll send you your first seeds so that you can start plugging in and exploring the system as well. Is there any other questions? Otherwise, I can also share a little bit of one of the projects that we're doing right now. So with Costa Rica, which is right now what's turning out to be a very valuable kind of beacon to showcase the rest of the world how regeneration can look like. What we're doing there is we're providing community grants for different bioregions in Costa Rica that have right now been stifled from the economic lockdown. 40% of the workforce of Costa Rica has been depending on tourism, and right now we have all of these people without livelihoods, and they also don't have any money right now. So we are right now providing seed funds so that communities can self-assemble around creating community farms for producing organic food. So we're also tying in a lot of the partners who are providing food banks and relief efforts, and providing them also with a seed grant to plug into the seeds economy, and already starting up seeding this bioregional or small scale well-being economies. And that's also something where everyone here is welcome to really adapt and replicate, or if you guys have any view or vision for the socioeconomic development of the bioregions where you're at, we have all the tools to empower you to do that and replicate it wherever you guys are at, and also include your networks. And that's precisely how we lift each other up, by being inclusive. And the vision behind this is, as we start integrating these efforts, we then have a currency which is able to literally outcompete models built on scarcity. And that's what we're gearing up towards.
Yeah, maybe I can share. There's one. I don't know if anyone has heard about it, but in Pakistan, they're actually, it's a government project, but it's another idea. They're actually investing money in making all these people who are out of work planting trees. So rebuilding rebuilding, you know, the biological ecosystems. So, you know, anything that can be driven in that direction is really cool right now.
Yeah,
So much.
actually, right now we have we were just touching base with the University of Zurich, the ETH, and they have the world's first study where they've mapped out the entire planet and figured out which species of trees should be planted everywhere in the planet. So one of the ideas that we're planning right now is have a universal earned income to provide that a universal income for all of that workforce to really start reforesting the planet. So that could be something that we can really do through the seeds ecosystem. And we really don't have to wait for the government lead to do that. We can all do it just from ourselves, by the people. Yeah, and please feel free to connect in every way possible. I sent you guys my email there, and I also see some email addresses that I will be happy to send invites for downloading the Seeds Passport. And I think we're already into our half an hour. So thank you so much